Okay, so I think we will get started then, if that's okay. If people kind of pop on along and just see what's happening, then they can check in. But otherwise, if we're ready to start, we're going to start standing this week. And I thought we would continue with the idea. Last week I taught a session around alignment. And when I'm talking about alignment, I'm not just referring to the physical shapes and forms that we take in the body. More specifically, I'm interested in the way we can align ourselves to the earth in a way that can support us, in a way that can enable us to feel stable and steady in our bodies. I'm interested in the way we can align ourselves with the sky, with the space above us, so that we can find length and be spacious in our bodies. And then ultimately thinking about the way that we align with the breath within those two entities. If you imagine that the exhalation take you down, awareness down through the body towards the earth. And the inhalation will take you up through the body towards the sky. So that will be our kind of thread of alignment through the practice today. And just standing with your feet about shoulder distance apart, we'll just take a little bit of time to get grounded. There will be some stays in the postures that we take today, just so that we can really tap into our inner steadiness, find some stability that will take us through to the rest of the day. So activate your legs, lifting the kneecaps, really press down through the feet. Take a couple of moments just to settle here. One hand over your chest, the center of your chest, one hand over your belly. Breathing in, breathing out. So just becoming breath aware. Take the exhalation down through the body towards the earth as the hands come inwards towards you. Follow the flow of the in-breath from the earth in the direction of the sky through your body as the hands move apart and expand with your chest and with your belly. How is your breath feeling today? How is your body feeling? What do you notice? Standing with this level of awareness, just relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your jaw. Standing firm on the ground. Bring your hands beside yourself and we'll take several breaths together, whereby the inhale is expansive, reaching up towards the sky. Just let the palms, kind of back of the hand touch the front of one palm. And then as the exhale comes, blow the breath, soften the knees, press the hands down. So inhale, align yourself within the space around you, the space above you. The hands touch, one hand on top of the other. Soften the knees, press into the hands down towards the earth. And repeating, breath in. Gentle release into the knees, twice more in your time. And just finding that space on the sides of the body, as if from the outer edges of your feet all the way through to the outer edges of your hands, and then down through the central column of your body towards the earth. And pause with the knees bent, and then release. Glide your shoulders towards your ears, soften the shoulders away. Just do a few circles with the shoulders, bringing your feet more into a hip distance apart and then relaxing your arms beside you. As you breathe in, take your left arm up towards the sky, and then on the exhale, stretch over to your right hand side. Inhale and release. Exhale to lower the arm down. Opposite side, breathing in, aligning along the side of the body and then stretching over in the direction of the earth. Through that exhale, inhale, lift towards the sky. Exhale, lower down, and repeating. So you could breathe in and out through your nose if that feels comfortable for you. You could also softly blow the air out through your mouth if that feels more appropriate, especially if you're a bit bunged. And don't know if any of you are familiar with Ujjayi breathing. So Ujjayi is a soft sounding breath in the throat. And you're welcome to take your breathing pattern into Ujjayi, but only if that's something that you feel comfortable with. The next time that you breathe in, take the arms up towards the sky. Really press through the feet. So you're aligned to the earth and you're aligned to the sky. Your body in between, pressing down through the feet, extending and lengthening through to your fingertips. And then as you exhale, rotate round towards your right hand side. Soften your knees. Let your arms sweep beside you. Breathe in and come back to center. Face your chest forwards. Exhale, rotate the opposite way. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Just find that room for your shoulders, sides of the body, through to the fingertips. Really grounding through the feet, having a sense of your stability. So we're going to keep the arms stretched upright. The next time that you breathe out, hinging from your hips as you fold and then sweep the arms to your lower back. Rounding the spine. As you inhale, lift the chest, sweep the arms and bring yourself up to standing. Arms extend, exhale from your hips. The belly can draw in, your abdomen comes in for support, rounding the back. Inhale, expand to rise. When you're coming down into that forward fold, soften the knees as much as you need to. Avoid locking the knees back. Come into that forward fold, and then the next time that you breathe in, lengthen the spine and sweep your arms out at shoulder level. The chest lifts. Exhale and release. So do that again 2 or 3 more times. Inhale and rise, really finding that length from your tailbone through to the crown of your head. Like a bird, taking flight. And again. Just awakening the spine from this forward fold to a lengthening, strengthening position for your back. Once more. This time staying. So as you breathe out, just taking your arms to your lower back. Abdomen draws in, exhaling. Inhale, release the arms alongside your ears. So really pressing down through the feet. Anchor down into your shape. Abdomen draws in for support. And then finally exhale and lower. And take your time to rise. Come up to stand. Release your arms by your sides and try to resist the temptation to fidget. So I'm moving, but I'm going to encourage you to try and remain in between. So we have this real groundedness, this sense of stability in between our movements. This time coming into a chair pose, so Ardha Utkatasana. As you inhale, you're going to stay in this upright position. As you exhale, your tailbone reaches behind you, your arms come alongside your ears, your chest is lifted. And then exhale, come back, take breath in. Exhale, stretching your tailbone back, bend the knees, take the arms alongside your ears. And then a breath in here, and the exhale brings you back. Breathing in, breathing out. Breath into your shape, expand through your fingertips, your chest is lifted, your chin stays drawn in though, so just bearing that in mind. And the next time that we come down, on an exhale, we'll stay for a few breaths. Let the exhalations be active in your belly. So think about the abdomen drawing in, your tailbone stretching behind you as if towards the back of your mat. And then your fingertips are extending alongside the ears as if towards the corner of the room ahead of you. So there's this diagonal line that you're making with your torso. And the knees are bent, so gripping in through the feet, the inner thighs and the buttocks. Let the exhale bring you back. Sigh the breath out. be in this place of stillness for a few moments so that you can observe the effects of your posture, of your movement. And then align yourself with the flow of your breath. The exhale takes you down through the body, connects you to the earth. The inhale takes you back through the body, connects you to the sky. It's like a thread of breath. I'm going to go a little bit wider now with the feet. Turning the toes out. You turn the toes out so much so that when you bend your knees, the knees are going to be tracking in the same plane as your toes, the same direction. Let's bring the hands to the heart center. You're always welcome to watch, by the way, watch the first round and then you can join in when you feel confident. So as you breathe in, press down into the feet, almost like your feet are a tripod here, and there's another leg kind of coming down through the pubic bone towards the ground. So we're really strong through the core, through the pelvis, with this support from the legs. As you exhale, sweep the arms out wide and bend the knees. So then expanding the fingertips away from your shoulders, but keeping your shoulders away from your ears. You can soften the elbows. So take a breath in here, and as you exhale, take yourself over to your left hand side. Inhale and bring yourself to center. Be expansive in your shape. Exhale to your right hand side. So I'm not changing anything about my leg position. They're strong and they're holding my pelvis in place so that my spine is able to move freely from one side to the other, and then opening through the side body as we stretch away. Lifting and rising, coming back. Once more in the opposite direction. And then we're going to come into this hold for a few breaths, more in a still place. We've been here for a while already. Let's just breathe into our shape, really pressing down. So active feet, active thighs. Almost like you're gripping everything in towards your skeleton. But the breath flows. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Step or jump your feet back together. Relax the arms and just stay for a few moments once again in Samastiti, or you might know this as mountain pose, Tadasana. So just take a few moments to get grounded once again. Connect with that flow of the exhale down towards the earth and the inhale up towards the sky. So you're tracing your body in between. And you know, your awareness may float, it may drift to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back. So just notice where your awareness goes as you take your attention with the breath. So we're going to work into a tree posture, but you might find it useful just to have your hand near a wall for support, or the top of the chair or worktop. Kind of going to take ourselves there dynamically. So bringing your awareness into the right foot. So you get grounded through the right leg, activate the right thigh. So what I mean by that is lift the kneecap up towards the hip, and then the thigh becomes firm and steady. And then lifting through on the left side, you're going to take your left arm up as you stretch through, like a little lean over to the right hand side. And then as you exhale, bending the left knee, bending the elbow, you can take your right arm out for a bit of balance there, so they come towards one another. So inhale and stretch the two away. Exhale, right knee and elbow come together. So kind of like a side crunch coming in through the core. Once more, and then we're going to take this into a tree. So you can take a hold of the foot, really active on your right leg, placing and pressing the foot through. Now you can stay here with the hands supporting on the thigh. If when you take the hand away, the foot begins to slip down, then you can bring your foot onto the calf. If you're able to keep the foot further up, you're really going to have to press both the thigh and the foot together. And then if you feel steady, we could really elongate and take our alignment once again in the direction of the sky with that steady grounding foot connecting to our perceived earth. And then releasing that down, soften into the knee, place the feet down. So just shake that out a little. We'll do the same on the opposite side. So any support you need for this from a balancing point of view, just repositioning yourself. And we're going to work onto our left side. So thinking about extending left arm, I'm going the other way, aren't I? Left arm and leg away from one another, and then guiding the knee and the elbow together. So I'm taking my opposite arm out just for a little bit of extra balance. So the inhale takes you more into a side stretch, the exhale into this kind of abdominal crunch, just preparing the hip. The next time that we come up, we can think about guiding that foot in towards the inner thigh, your left inner thigh, and then really having to activate, pressing the thigh into the foot as you press the foot into the thigh. So this leg is pretty solid in connection. And if the foot begins to slip, then lowering down onto the calf and just taking a more gentle approach. But we can also, at that time, if the foot does slip, we can still align ourselves with that connection towards the sky. If the palms come together, just lightly placing the palms into a prayer position. Otherwise, you can have your hands separate, reaching through without tension in your shoulders. Your jaw is relaxed, and the exhale connects you down to the ground. And then slowly release. Soften the knees. Sigh the breath out. Okay, so just coming towards the front of your mat. I'll just do this face on. You can fold your arms and then start to lower your chin in towards your throat. And just take a breath in here, and when the exhale comes, start to round the shoulders. And as soon as the shoulders start to round, just soften into the knees. So we're coming into a spinal roll, but enabling safe roll by releasing the knees. And at a certain point, releasing the knees so much that your belly, your torso can find the thighs. And at that point, releasing the arms, lower the bottom down. You might find the heels rise as you lower the bottom. If you find that this position is too intense for your knees, then just keeping your bottom lifted so you're in more of a kind of a right angle forward fold with the legs. Placing the bottom down towards the ground, you can take your knees further out. And we'll just do a little stay here. So keeping the heels either on the ground or lifted, you can bring the palms at the kind of in front of your chest. If you can place your heels down, then great, but it's not essential. We're really grounding down once again towards the earth. With each exhale, think about the lift on the inhales, the lift through the crown of your head. And then lower your bottom down. Find the ground. Okay. So bringing your legs into almost a Z-like shape. And you can do this with your hands on the floor, or you could try with the arms lifted. So we have this kind of mobility coming into your hips as you roll the knees from one side to the other. So as you roll the knees in one direction, the chest can lift. As you come through the center, the chest hollows, so there's a roundedness in the spine. And if you find this more useful to have your hands on the floor for support, then you can do the same thing, but the chest will be a little more lifted. They'll still be around as you bring the knees up. There'll still be a roundedness in the spine, but it won't quite be as much. Okay, and take this into all fours. So eventually finding yourself on all fours, and you can stretch your bottom back towards the heels. So we're going to take an approach into downward facing dog, and then we'll just see what time we have left after that in terms of where we go. Okay, so take your time to rise onto all fours, and then with an exhalation, tucking the toes under and lifting the knees, so you come into a core position with the knees lifted, like a mini dog. And then what I'd like you to do as you exhale is stretch the heels away. So it's like a slightly awkward plank. We're not low with the bottom is lifted. And then from this position, bend the knees again, so the knees are lifted, and then exhale and take the pelvis back. So we'll do that a couple of times. Get the arms strong, active, lifting the knees, the core engages, protecting your lower back. Stretching along the legs as you exhale, but keeping the bottom lifted. And then release, inhale, lower the knees, exhale, stretch the bottom back. So we'll just shift this a little now. Coming into this position with the knees bent is from here where we're going to explore our down dog. So as you begin to exhale, take your time. You can take a couple of breaths, lifting the pelvis diagonally away from your hands, and then keeping your knees bent, pressing into your hands. Lift your shoulders as if you're going to shrug your shoulders away from your ears. And your elbows can soften a little, but we're keeping this activation around, the spaciousness around the shoulders, activation in your core, the abdomen draws in for support, and then if you'd like to, with your knees bent, we can start to explore that length in the legs. Releasing one knee, stretching the heel down on the opposite side. Keep pressing into the floor. Your head slightly releases in between the arms, but it doesn't drop down. And then, when you've been here for long enough, take that inhale, lower the knees, exhale, slide the hips back, keeping your pelvis towards the heels with the toes tucked under. And just pause into a child's pose. Just rest your head onto your hands and just settle there as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So even though we're in a smaller shape now with the body, we can still align ourselves with the flow of the breath towards the earth with each inhale. Towards the sky with each inhale, towards the earth with each exhale. And then slide yourself along the floor. Bring your hands alongside your body. Your pelvis, your pubic bone rests onto the ground. Your hands, the palms find the ground. The tops of your legs and your forehead comes in, touches the ground on your mat. Just wait for your breath in, and like a wave, raise the chest and turn the palms to face up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, turn the palms down. You can lower your head to one side, lower everything down. So breath in and rise. Bring your head to center. Breath out, lowers you down. And there's a moment at the end of that exhale where you soften, and then the inhale rises again, and the exhale brings you down. So a couple more times in this way. So this is really useful for strengthening our backs and finding that extension in the spine in a more supported way, with the pelvis in a more fixed position. So thinking about staying in this position now, you could raise your legs as you breathe in and lift the arms, and then pause as you exhale. The abdomen lifts away from your mat. Inhale and breathe into your chest as if you're pulling yourself forwards towards the wall in front of you. Everything is engaged here, but your breath is soft and light. And then bring it down, lower your head onto your hands, just pause, breathing in, sigh the breath as you exhale. And then in your time, just bringing yourself upright onto your back. I'll just start to wind the practice down. The knees can come in over your belly. As you breathe in, take your feet up towards the sky, take your arms overhead. And as you breathe out, bring the knees in and let your hands touch the top of your shins. You could also do this single leg as an option, especially if you find double leg is not very comfortable for your back in some way. And sometimes just a single leg variation can help to nurture rather than taking ourselves too far when we don't need to. And just pause when you've done that, completing the round that you're on. And then with your hands on top of your shin bones, just start to rock. Rocking from side to side so much that as you rock, the pelvis lifts on the opposite side. So as you roll over to your left, your right hip lifts, your right shoulder lifts. As you roll over to your right, the left hip and shoulder lifts. Now you might like to then rock your head in the opposite direction if you find that rhythm expands along your spine. And you can take your arms out and just continue with this rocking motion from one side to another, just making it a little bit more rotational along the spine and into your thighs. Sigh the breath, just making this the last round that you're on. And when you bring the knees in, just hugging your head in the direction of your knees. And then pause and just take up room on the ground with your body. You can stretch your legs out. You could place a cushion under your head. You could rest onto your side or even onto your tummy. So just take your time to be comfortable here. Sigh the breath out a few times, just allowing yourself to relax. And an opportunity to let go of unnecessary tension. But as you let go of that unnecessary tension, also considering the effects of your practice. So just notice what you feel physically, what you feel energetically. Is there heat in your system? Is there sensation? Can you make yourself any more easeful than you already are? And then bringing yourself back to the flow of your breath at your nostrils. As you breathe in, just sensing the coolness of the breath in the nose. Align the in-breath in the direction of the sky, so still thinking about this expanse upwardly as you breathe in. And then exhale down through the body towards the soles of the feet. As you exhale, inhale, it rises, there's a coolness of the breath at the nostrils. Exhale, it lowers, it calms, there's a release through the body towards the earth. So I'm just going to come up to sit, but I encourage you to stay there for a few moments. I'll just ring my little chime bell. Just taking in the sounds of the bells for a few moments. just letting that breath come back to surface once again, sighing the breath. Stretch your arms in a way that feels pleasant. Maybe let your fingers and your toes wriggle. Just take some movement that brings you back into your space. Be aware of sensation of light and colour. And rather than rushing back into your day as you come up to sit, just take a few moments with your hands over the centre of your chest. So this area in yoga connects us to our essence, our true nature, so that which is unchanging, that which is unaffected by what happens in our external environment, what happens in our thoughts. So it's always there, something that we can connect to that is peaceful within us. And breathe into this space, so fully align yourself with this essence within you that is peaceful, that is light, that is steady, unchanging. Exhale and release yourself towards the earth. Okay, thank you so much everybody. I am super chuffed that you're here to practice yoga with